Why, hello and welcome everybody. It is Pohx again, and I have a new game for you guys here today. The game is called Dungeonmans. I believe it's not released yet, it's in early access. It's coming out within like a week. I'll have the Steam link down below for you guys if you want to check it out. I think it's like 15 bucks right now. But it is a really cool style game. So just to touch up on it, it's an indie game, of course. It's like an indie turn-based, but it doesn't feel turn-based, and you'll see why here shortly. Turn-based, and what is another one? Roguelike game. So it's like you play on hardcore, you know, when you die you restart all over again, but there are things that you take with you to the next one. So I have about 15 hours played, and I'm going to create a new character here. We're going to name this character YouTube Kappa. Alright. So when the game first starts, you have like 4 different sections of skills you can pick for, or stats you can pick from. Each one has its own thing. You can see like there's strength, skills, science, and foom, and each one, as you can see, has your own. So I'm gonna go ahead and pick one here. Next, you have your class type you'd like to be. You've got Fightermans, Rangermans, Wizardmans, Necromancer, Necroman, I don't know exactly. There's a special way to pronounce it. I don't think it's Necromancer. I think he pronounces it a different way. Dungeonmans, Bannermans, and Southern Gentlemans, and each one has their own skill tree. So I'm gonna go with Dungeonmans, which allows you to actually customize it. Then you get 2 perks you can pick from. Each perk does something different, of course. So you have maximum health, you have turns your books into health, which is something different. Find more coin, and you guys can go through all this stuff. So I'm just gonna go with something that I'm used to. Alright, and then you have, of course, you can kind of customize what your character looks like. Alright, so actually, I'm really enjoying this game quite a lot. I've got like 15 rips in it or something. Alright, so the first things first, actually, let me turn this down just a little bit. Alright, so you've got, remember how I said it's a roguelike game, but as you complete achievements, you kind of unlock more stuff. So I have like this giant library here, which I have no clue what it does yet. I've got the alchemy lab, which is growing. I don't know what it does yet. And then there's kind of like this little weaponsmith guy, and all of your materials that you like disenchant or you break down will stay with you to the next one. So there's also things you can upgrade, and you can get recipes and certain items like what was I looking for? There's like set items you can make. So like if I don't know if you can make them, you can find them. So I'm gonna go ahead and look at my vault here. You can say the vault is for gear that is legendary or set piece quality or heroic gear. So you can actually store gear, and maybe you can use it on your other runs. I'm not really sure how that works. So I'm going to go ahead and look down over here. Now, this is another part that I really like with the game. So when you're traveling on the world map, you clear certain areas and whatnot. And as you clear through the areas, depending on what elites you kill, you unlock these items that... This one type of item, I forgot what it's called. You'll see it here shortly. And it basically adds to a pool of stats you can always pick from. So over here, anytime I make a character now, I get 55 additional points to spend on my stats. And of course, as your stat is higher, it takes more. So as you can see, the more you play the game, you get rewarded. Like, you know, like you can speed up through your beginning game process, and it's really neat. I really like roguelike games that offer you something, whether it's cosmetic appeal or actual, you know, physical appearance, or, you know, something that alters your gameplay, makes it really nice for me. So this character is going to be a hybrid. I'm going to be a hybrid of a ranger, like I'm going to use a bow, but I'm also going to dual wield, which you're able to do. That's really interesting. So if you press A here, you've got your Adventure 101, which will say Class 1, it's your basics. Then you have your armor type. Then you have Fightermans, these are the actual classes. Wizardmans, Rangermans, Necromanmans, we'll go with that. Necromancer, maybe that's how it is. Bannermans, and Southern Gentlemans, and each one is its own class, but you're not limited. You can spec any way you'd like. So there's 6 classes, and every time you level up you get 1 point, and you can choose where you want to put it. So for me, I'm going to go with my standard, which I'm going to go into dual wielding. So this allows me to use 2 weapons now, 2 one-handers. I'm going to go bows, and then I'm going to go ahead and go heavy armor, well, sorry, real armor, and then I'm going to put a point into stick and move. And I'm going to put a point into... where is it? I think I go... yeah, one-handed weapons. So I can actually... yeah. Alright, so now from here, I'm going to go ahead and go to my skills, which are right here. So I can't use this yet because this is for dual wielding. Battle Fervor is my real armor piece, and then Stick and Move is my mobility skill. And I'm gonna go ahead and put on my gear here. Now my gear is already like +2 and stuff, and that's from, like I said before, you can like enchant your gear. Like you can enchant your basic gear with the materials you've saved from previous runs and stuff. All right, so we're good to go. Now when you're on the world map, you have a bunch of areas you can go to. On top of that, you can get into fights on the world map, which will kind of like Final Fantasy style, it'll port you into like a style of that. And then you have like your dungeons you can clear. Like here's one, a dungeon. I guess you can call them dungeons. And then things like this I'll go into later, which are like miniature dungeons, I guess you could say, that have a guaranteed elite in them every time, or a champion. I'm not sure if they're called champions or elites. Alright. So this is how it's basically turn-based. You move once, they move once, or it depends how many action points you have per what. But you can make it really fast-paced, if you know what you're doing. So like, it might not even look turn-based as for what I'm playing right now, but it is turn-based. Alright, so the goal here is I need to find another weapon, another one-hander, since I am dual-wielding. But I do not have the second weapon yet. Okay. You can hit tab to bring up your map as well. Very nice the way it's set up. It's really easy to use. And looks like, is that a one-hander? Yep. Okay, so that's gonna go right there. There's enchanting in this game, and it's all based off the dice roll system. That's how the damage numerics work. The level up is awesome. I mean, let's be honest, it's pretty nice the way it's set up. So for here, you get 1 point per level. I'm gonna go ahead and put this one into Professional Marksman. And you can see I just got boots. Now this is boots for these are real armor types, so I can use this. And I'm gonna go down. There's a bit of a learning curve at first, you know, just like in all games. But you know, like I said, I have about 10 hours, maybe a little bit more invested, and I know a pretty good amount about the game. And it's a lot of fun. Here's another real armor piece. You can see this is an unidentified piece, so I just identified it. It rolled 5% parry. You can identify all your stuff at town, kind of like the Deckard Cain thing, or you can have identification scrolls that you can use as well. Okay, we're gonna go down. Now I'll show you guys kind of like not a boss, they're called like I don't know if they're called champions, I think they're called champions. So I'm gonna show you one right now. It's gonna pop up here soon. Another thing to note is I do stream this game. I'll probably be streaming it until the PoE patch goes live, and then, you know, majority of my time will be diverted there, if not all my time. But the actual creator streams the game as well. And he's really interactive with his chat, and he's always on there programming while he's doing it. If I remember his Twitch, I'll link his Twitch down below as well, if you guys want to check him out and ask him any questions on the game. And it's a really cool system the way it's set up. So like, I'm going to use a buff for myself, and you can see the buff actually pops up here, Fervor, and that's 12 turns, so this would be 1, 2, 3, like that. And it's, I don't know, I really like it. I really do like the style of the game. Okay, I don't need these boots. I already have boots. Oops, parry. There's parry and there's block. Parrying is really annoying because of the way like it deflects back to your face if you're melee. It is a whopping F you in the face when you get hit. Like when a mob parries you or retaliates you. I think that's parrying. It's really scary. You can also rest in the game. You press R, you have the ability to rest, and it basically, all resting is, it essentially spam clicks your character, and just makes the time go by faster. And of course, if a mob, you know, comes up on you, it stops you, cancels your rest. Let's see. Come on now, where's the guy at? Alright, here we go. So, this is the champion. You can see he has like a little glowy aura thing going on around him. What I'm gonna do for this guy to make sure I kill him, I'm gonna get back here, mitigation, buff up, and then we'll trade him out. Now, this is actually a lot more difficult than it seems. It's just, I have restarted numerous times, and I do have a good amount of knowledge, but it took me probably like 3 attempts, like I died I think 3 times trying to kill this guy for the first time. I'm not even gonna lie, I was a big noob when I first started. So you can see here I obtained this thing called Proof of Strength, and that's what you use. That's basically what you use to get your skill points, like your stat points that you saw. Like when I first created my guy, I had like a ridiculous amount of points. So for here, this is one of the ones I was talking about before. This is like a mini dungeon, if you'd even call it that. And in here, there's always a champion, which is really good because getting your proof of strengths it's really easy with these. But they're pretty obnoxiously difficult sometimes. Like, I've gotten almost one-shot by them before. And remember, it's a roguelike, so if you die, grab some pepperonis. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and jump right over here. Okay, here's what we're gonna do. Mitigation on, damage on. Should be able to duel him here. Got him. Alright. Here we have... Alright. All two-handed attack face. Flippy floppies. Okay, then there's also like towns as you play through the game. I'll show you an example here. Let's move across. There are these towns such as right here. And in these towns they have their shops. I don't know how they're generated exactly. I want to assume they're randomized, but you can talk to the mayors. And essentially there's this prosperity thing where if you saw those crates I got, you can give them the crates to boost the prosperity. And then overall just the amount of items sold and the I think it's the amount of items. I know for a fact that the price cost, like the cost of them, goes down as well, which is really cool. It just adds a whole new level of depth to a roguelike game, and I know for a fact that it doesn't fully reset when you lose. So like for there, if you saw, I was already 2 prosperity in, even though I just started this character right now because I died previously. Probably gonna have to. Yeah, this is 22 gold. It's kind of out of my price range. We'll do this. We'll swap to this weapon and put on... actually, I just realized I had a bow here, though. And, of course, it's wimpy. Oh, got some pepperonis. Alright. Let's go do a little bit more just to get you guys a little bit accustomed. Alright. Here we go. Let's see if we can do this. This is... Uh-oh. This is a little sketchy. You gotta be careful sometimes, because if you misclick something and you don't actually perform it, it's gonna make your turn... Like, if I click this rock, that's a turn going by. Where, like, I basically misclicked and literally just lost a turn, which, if you're fighting 4 or 5 mobs, that's a big thing. Another thing to explain about the skill system is, so by default, when you use a skill, there's a penalty of 5 turns. So like I'm gonna use my Battle Fervor right here, and it gives me the buff and everything. If I use it again within the next 5 turns, it basically doubles the cost, to prevent you from spamming, which I thought was really neat. Now there's a perk that you can get to reduce that, but I'm just showing you guys the basics of it. So again, we're gonna pop this one, damage buff, and then it's time to duel him. Overall, though, I'm really enjoying it. I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. And it's fun, you know, like that's all I care about in games, is having fun. If they can entertain me for a bit and I'd pay a little bit of money, it's well worth it for me. Like, now, the last feature I want to show you guys is something else that was really cool. So, you know how in games, of course, when you skip content, like say a new expansion in World of Warcraft comes out, there's no need to do previous content. I know that's kind of like a retarded example. Well, say in here, for example, these dungeons, I'm already level 4. There's really no point in doing these. They're really weak. You can see because they're gray over it. Like I'm pretty much out level it. So you can actually just skip the dungeon and get the loot out of the dungeon. I don't know if it actually gives you the loot in there, or it's like randomized loot, but it's just pretty neat to know that like you don't have to do the same thing every time. Like you could do different dungeons if you wanted to. So like say you on your first time you went 1 and then you went to 2 and then 3. The next one you could go 1, 2, 3, etc. And you can actually re-roll this whole world. That I know you can do. There's an option to re-roll the whole thing. And I thought that was really neat as well. So if you get bored with your current layout, ditch your layout and make a new layout. And let's go do one more area here. I'll do one more, and then we'll call it. Now these may look like they're the same right now. I think the only reason why is because they're all in the same area. But I assure you there's tons of different ones. I mean, just alone I've done I think 5 different layouts of them with different mobs of different elites, or sorry, different champion mobs. And they get really difficult. Like I promise you, some of them are pretty difficult. And you really have to be very strategical with what you do. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and just jump down here. Oops. 1 and 2. I'll do them here. Alright then, so that's pretty much it. You know, I wanted to show you guys this game. This game, like I said before, is called Dungeonmans. You can check it out on Steam. I'll have that information linked to you guys down below. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Of course, leave some feedback and comments. And you know, I hope to be chatting with you guys soon. I can't wait for the PoE leagues to come out though. So anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Hope you guys had a wonderful time, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.